give floor to Yasushi for the concluding remarks. Thank you very much to all of you, and we are happy to finish this conference with the remarks of Yasushi.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for those moving words. So I'm very moved. But anyway, so first of all, I would like to also to thank deeply Said and Katerina and everyone who took part these 3 days here. Without any one of you, this event had not realized in this wonderful way, I think. So, and I remember how I was impressed when Said first told me that Global Bergsonism project, this project has been inspired by our project, PBJ, Project Bergson in Japan. So today I would like to talk about the background of this. So now this symposium proved Bergson's philosophy cannot retain itself to a philosophical tradition in a narrower Occidental sense of the word. So it has had many repercussions and echoes and interpenetration, so to speak, in so much fields as other thinkers, including Japanese philosophers, literature, architecture, music, and education, and so on. So one thing I imagined is, and not mentioned in this symposium, is Kuki Shuzo. There was several mentioned about, and he wrote. There is a paper entitled as Metaphysical Time, where he developed his theory of time. It's a kind of eternal return, a version of that, and he denied a reincarnation model, but there is an infinite number of identical histories of the same this universe. So no past and no future relation among these universal times. Those are identicals and no past and no future. So as mentioned by Hisashi earlier, all those philosophers were deeply influenced by Bergson, but they had very particular tendencies in common. So that's interesting, I think. So, but that said, however, we need to keep in mind, maybe as every one of you knows well, there is also a danger. So Bergson's words are always attractive and super stimulating, maybe overstimulating. So there is a risk that a comparative approach inevitably involves already a greater number of elements. So possibly you can only have a relatively lower resource for deepening the concepts themselves. So how can we overcome this paralysis, so to speak, of the vocabulary? How can we carve out and polish more precise as well as fluid in Bergsonian sense of concepts? C'est précision du concept, je crois. This is why we think important having both historical approach, historical investigation, and also analytical examinations at the same time. So this season we have already developed many things. So by the time I took over this project itself is established by Mr. Abiko Sensei and Hisashi in 2007. But by the time I took over this project, thanks to my respected precursors, the foundations for such international collaboration had already been laid. So I've been wondering, so what can I do for this project? So, and in the end, my aim was to open up and develop the potential of Bergsonian concepts and theories through dialogues with a wider range of disciplines. So in particular, the core idea of modern memory, that is to solve the mind-body problem in terms of the notion of time, has a great deal to do with the current flourishing sciences of consciousness, such as theories of consciousness, including integrated information theory developed by Giulio Tononi, free energy principles developed by Carl Friston, and so on. And also there are researchers, vivid researchers of artificial intelligence and the neurosciences and cognitive sciences and so on. So we need to remember it was Bergson himself who was in dialogue with other philosophers and scientists at his time. So for us to be a Bergsonian is not to confine ourselves within a closed orthodoxy, but to expand in a Bergsonian way, that is in a divergent and maybe invasive way. So these are notions we are tackling now. And since 2019, so we entered the fourth phase of our PBJ project Bergson in Japan. Here you see our current members. We have added several new members in order to build a more concrete and more flexible structure of team. So, and here are what we have done for these 2.5 years in spite of this pandemic period. Examinations of the lectures of Histoire de l'idée du temps, so Collège de France. Those examinations has been done with collaborators both from historical and conceptual context, and also we have had dialogues with artificial intelligence researchers and rebooting panpsychism, and dialogues with analytical philosophy, in particular in the context of memory. So this project, so CPM, it means that the Center for Philosophy of Memory is situated in Grenoble. This is Center for Philosophy of Memory in an analytical tradition, but we've tackled them and literally tackled them and get them persuaded to make these collaborations. Many of them are already published or going to be published. So to get the Bergsonian concepts available for them without compromising their refinement and precision, I believe there is a great deal to be learned from these dialogues, including analytic philosophy. Fluidness is not vagueness. So fluidness and precision are not incompatible. So this is our principle. And in recent years, in fact, there has been a move also in some areas of analytical philosophy to emphasize historical aspect, the importance of the historical aspect. So in fact, the CPM, though they are analytical principle, but at the same time, they are very respectful of historical aspect. That's why we have done this type of collaborations. So anyways, it might be only through Bergson's philosophy that we can have such a productive influence on each other. This is, I think it is important. So our challenge is still ongoing, but I would like to take this opportunity in this time of global infection to infect you with this idea. Thank you very much.